Jackson was on the scout team to the last 4 weeks of the season, 3 weeks of the season. So he needed a lot more reps of running what we're running. And then Jimmy should be going to senior prom right now, and he's here with us. So he's had like really good weeks, and then he'll have a day where he gets lost and can't get himself out of, just forgetting to motion a guy, having the running back on the wrong side, not moving him. And but he is way ahead of where he would have been. That 6 days and going to the bowl game and being a part of it and being part of the team, being here for 6 months before the rest of this class comes, is really giving him a chance to compete, because it's going to be obviously competition. Hank's doing a great job right now. He's been the most efficient out there. Jackson's getting better. He has hot and cold days. We need to have less cold, more hot, and then Jimmy, you just got to wait. You just got to wait it out. He's throwing the ball harder. He's more confident. He knows when he's wrong before I have to tell him. It's starting to happen, not every time. But yeah, it's a process with those guys, and the sooner the process starts, the sooner you get to the point where they can be effective. So I think it's huge that Jackson played a couple games, and that although it's not good that Mark's not out there, they're getting a ton of reps right now, and that's going to help us moving forward.
Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. You have a new analyst that joined you with Warren. I'm specifically talking about Warren, though.
Warren, yeah.
Yeah, what is he bringing to the table for you? Are you incorporating some of the things that maybe he was able to do at Wake Forest? Maybe, are we going to see slow mesh? Are we going to see any of that stuff?
Trying to dabble in everything, that's a whole thing. I mean, it's an expensive, as Warren would say, it's expensive to do that, because you have to do it all the time. It has to be a major part of what you do. We've just talked about how he came up with it and what it does to a defense and trying to find ways. He's just been a super successful coordinator in Power 5 football for a long time, right? And what he did at Wake Forest and the amount of scoring, I've known him since my days at Syracuse. We were doing some things at Syracuse. He gave me a call, wanted to meet, talk football. He's a football junkie, which is great. So am I. And so we met, God, how many years? A long time ago, 10 years ago, and we just kind of stayed in touch ever since. And obviously, unfortunate situation with their coach stepping aside, and he was available. And he was the guy I wanted from the day one, just because I like the way his brain works, and he's in the quarterback room with us. He's recruited and coached a bunch of successful quarterbacks. And when I'm not there and I'm over with the O-linemen or I'm with the tight ends, he's in the room with those guys. And so it's been really good. And we're trying to figure out, we have all his cut-ups in here, so we've watched some of the stuff they do. And so it's been a great start to the relationship. It's going to be more helpful in the fall, because this is not an offense that you can game plan quickly, so he's going to be able to get ahead. When we get done with practice on Wednesday, he'll move forward to the next opponent, so he'll be a couple days ahead of us when we get in on Sunday. I think that's where it's going to make the biggest impact in our offense. But just having someone that's done it that we can lean on, that understands, from his interview, it was so evident he understands O-line play, he understands, linebacker play, he understands secondary and coverages. And so he's a perfect fit, because the more ideas, the merrier, and he's got a ton of good ones. And so it's been a good start.
Take 4 and 1, start with Blake Hornsey, Hawkeye headquarters. It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
I know going into last year, you revealed that cutting things in half is a big deal to you. And when you came here, I was 132. You almost cut it in half to 72nd.
Yeah.
Total in scoring offense. I was just curious. You got into the top 40 in nearly every stop you've been. Is that something you're still kind of thinking about? Maybe this could be the goal this year, and is that potentially attainable?
We haven't set those yet, but yeah, that's exactly how you do it, right? It has to be attainable and realistic, right? I mean, when you coach long enough, you take over great teams, you take over teams that have struggled in different areas, and you're just trying to, turn the ship and get it headed the right direction, right? And so, last year looking at us, we were, we weren't a very efficient passing team 2 years ago, and we were an efficient running team, So when you have something that's efficient, you try to find a way to make it explosive, and you have to find a way to make the passing game efficient. We were way more efficient this year in the passing game. We weren't nearly good enough. We definitely weren't explosive. But we were efficient on third down. Our third down percentages went up. We were good on third medium. We were definitely explosive thanks to number 2 and those 5 guys and the tight ends up front that were explosive in the run game. So now the question is, what's the next step, right? And what's that going to do for you? So the goal is always, to cut where you were at and cut it in half. I don't know what those numbers are. If we were you know, really high in something, I don't know if I'll keep it, you know, we got to cut it from 10 to 5, you know, or something like that. You know, if you're in the top 20 or 30 in something, you're doing a pretty good job. But when you're on the lower half of the Mason-Dixon line, you got to get everything in there. You got to be able to do a little bit of everything. So haven't put those together. I have it on my whiteboard in there that we need to come up with the exact goals that we're going to present to the players. But it's definitely going to be, I don't know if it'll be in half, but it's going to keep trending that way. And hopefully give them a realistic goal so we can go have something to go attack.
Mitch fit KJN.
Yeah, Mitch.
Kamari had some explosive plays as well when he got his shot.
Yes,
last year.
yes.
I don't know if I'm drawing this parallel just because I watched way too many games when you were in Kalamazoo,
Yeah.
Caleb Ellaby and those guys.
Yeah.
They're the same height, they're the same weight, they're both running backs. Is Levante Bellamy a good count? I mean, does he have the potential to maybe, I mean, you'd love those stats, I know.
Well, Bellamy can fly now. I mean, Kamari does a lot more horizontally than, Bellamy was a straight line guy, and he was way too fast to be in the MAC. It was great. He was on our team. I think he was Player of the Year in the league. I mean, he was a stud. But yeah, the thing that he has that's like Levante is that they can do multiple things in the pass game. They're good. The whole running back room right now it's a fun room to coach. You know, Omar's taken over an extremely healthy room. Adele did an unbelievable job with recruiting in that room. We have moved TJ Washington back. The whole plan was to put TJ at wide receiver so he could learn the pass game. So we now have a running back that knows the pass game, and he's a great running back, and he's really good out of the backfield, which is not something we had last year. And when you're trying to expand your pass game, that's always a good thing to have. So he can really catch the ball. So really that whole group in there, I think it's going to be a running back by committee, but having that experience, watching the way TJ and Kamari ran the ball in the bowl game, they were comfortable. They're putting their foot in the ground. I mean, day one, we handed Kamari the first run of the season, he ran right into the O-line, you know, and he was nervous. I'm sure the game was happening fast, and it slowed down for him, right, which is really the point where he takes off. So I'm excited. He's kind of taking a leadership role in that running back room, and I'm excited for the year he's going to have because he's comfortable, he's ready to play, and he really understands, you know, and can do so many things from running in between the tackles to running on the edges to catching the ball. So we're going to be able to do more things with the running back position, especially with TJ in there, than we were able to do in the past.
Hey Tim, I like Buckeye Beacon. I know you've had a ton of fluctuation in that quarterback room. Jackson Stroud,
Yeah.
now the longest seasoned guy.
Yeah, he's a vet. Got here in June. Did he get here in June? I think I got here in June last year. Yeah.
So I know you got Jimmy here early. I mean, looking at the fall, you'll have 2 walk-ons, you'll have 2 freshmen, Hank who just got here, and Mark who just got here. I guess how
Thanks.
I'm not sorry. I know how confident are you in your quarterback room's depth? Or do you think you're going to add another quarterback via the portal?
Oh, right, yeah. With Sully left, that opens up a spot. You know, I have to be the right person, the right fit. You have to have enough knowledge that we think the guy can help us, you know. It's not my number one thing because we're in the middle of spring ball, so I'm really just focused on those guys. I do like our depth. I mean, obviously Jackson's played before. The young kids got a long way to go. We're gonna see kind of how they develop. But Hank's really taken to it. He's done a really good job. I'm excited to see Mark. It is ironic that none of them, other than Jackson, have ever played before. You know, here wearing the Tiger Hawk on their helmets. So, you know, it's a challenge. I think the people around him help a lot. It's also rare to have a guy that's thrown for 10,000 yards in your room. You know, so that's helpful. So there's some good with it. There's some good with it, but it's a great room. Like even you know Sully, we love Sully, and it's a tight room, and I'm excited for him and his future. But it's a good group that kind of support each other because they're all kind of learning this thing together from the start. And it's way easier to learn when the people around you know what they're doing. You know, when you turn the corner and there's 3 guys open as opposed to everyone ran the wrong route. You know. Because they blame the quarterback no matter what, right? If you take the ball and matriculate it down the field, you did a good job. If you don't, you stink. That's the way it works. And so with the guys around them playing well, it's really allowed those guys, I think, to have a little bit more confidence. And coach has done a great job of putting us in tough situations. And we're getting a lot of work done. We got a long way to go. But I'm happy where the room's at right now. And if something comes along that we can add somebody else in there to add depth, we would do it in our opinion.
Last question, Scott.
Yeah, one of your analysts, Billy, you worked with him at Western Michigan. He was in the NFL for a while.
Yep.
You know, taught tight end and O-line, wide zone.
Yep.
A lot of what did. And Omar has experience in the Shanahan offense too. How have they helped you kind of formulate your scheme going forward, or tweaking things on the field to help
Yep.
it really perfect what you want to do?
It has been fantastic to have some other people that can speak the language, right? We have a bunch of coaches that are returning that are doing a phenomenal job, and they're in year 2 and they understand it way more and have ideas. But then you bring in 2 guys that have been doing this for years, you know. They have to learn some of the nuances that we had to change to get it to fit a college field, and some of the timing. You know, the speed of the receivers is a little different. So we've made some adjustments, but they picked it up. You know, even the interviews, when they start, you know, teaching our own protection to us, you know, it's been really impressive to have them here. You know, I always, like Matt in Green Bay, he would never hire a guy unless he could help game plan. Like, you need ideas. We're going to run the same plays a lot of ways, right? And finding more ways to run the same play and make it look different. The more ideas you can get, better. We talk about Warren, same way. But those 2 guys, you know, have a ton of experience in running this exact system. So they've come in with immediate ideas. Our guys that were here last year that I had to teach everything to the, you know, tried my best to teach, be an O-line coach and then be a tight end coach and kind of coach the coaches first. They're in year 2, you know, and Billy obviously was a GA for me, and then was with the Jets with Mike LaFleur, and so he knows it forwards and backwards, and he's with the tight ends in that room when he sits in a room, but really he's here to help game plan and understand the system. So we've watched a lot of Jets film, we've watched a lot of Bears and Packers, and just try to find ways that can continually evolve our offense, right? So that, you know, we can run the same play, and Phil thinks it's different plays every single time we run one, right? That's the goal. And so they brought more and more ideas to the table, which is huge. And so that part has been a lot of fun for me. It's just the beginning. We haven't really game planned. We're not really game planning. We're just trying to find new ways to run the same plays so our guys get good at the techniques.